talk about protein. Is it bad for your bones? They say if women eat a high protein diet, it ruins their bones. But what's the data say? Well, this is some of the stuff you'll see online. Too much protein puts a strain on your kidneys, leads to dehydration, bloating, nausea, and osteoporosis. Wow. So I want to show preliminary data to athletes, an endurance athlete, and a physique athlete. Here's how much they were eating. They went from 2.8 to 4.8 grams per kilo. That was the physique athlete. The endurance athlete went up to 3.2. A lot of protein. What happened to body fat? They both lost fat, and they're extremely lean women. The endurance athlete lost over 2.5 pounds. The physique athlete almost 2 pounds. Take this home to your mama. Bone mineral content. They are 2.7 standard deviations above average. Lean body mass, interestingly, did not change. So in conclusion, increased protein intake, you lose fat mass. Thank you.
We did a study where we compared the effects of a restricted breathing mask versus no mask on resistance exercise performance. Crossover design with guys. We looked at muscle performance, total repetitions during resistance exercise bouts, proteolytic gene expression, and also serum cortisol levels. What we found was that the mask caused significant reductions in total repetitions and muscle performance. Serum cortisol was elevated in both groups. No significant impacts in proteolytic gene expression in either group. So the mask seems to impair performance, but it has no effect on muscle proteolytic markers indicative of muscle protein degradation. Thank you. Use the rest of my slides.
Not yet. You still got slides. Effective BCA supplementation on recovery of performance and perceived soreness following eccentric exercise. We have 20 resistance-trained males ingest 0.22 grams per kg of a BCA supplement or placebo for 5 days, and then they returned to the lab for an eccentric muscle damaging protocol. It was 10 sets of 8 4-second eccentric squats at 70% 1RM. Immediately post 1, 2, 4, 24, 48, 72 hours post-exercise, we assessed vertical jump, MVIC, jump squat, perceived soreness. Results, vertical jump, jump squat, no differences between groups at any time point. MVIC force output was significantly different from baseline at 24, 48, 72 hours post-exercise. For the BCA group, soreness was significantly, the BCA group was significantly less sore compared to the placebo group at 48 and 72 hours post-exercise. Size, conclusions, BCA supplementation at 0.22 grams per kg may mitigate perceived soreness. However, the recovery of muscular performance seems negligible. Good job.
That's been good. Right protein at the right time optimizes body composition. 4 to 6 meals, evenly spaced throughout the day, 20 to 40 grams. First one within an hour of waking, last one within 2 hours of going to sleep at night. This has led us to develop this body composition index. Lean body mass index is what we refer to it as, and over 300 participants. And I refer to the last step there. You can see that those that protein pace and protein pace with exercise have the most favorable change in the lean body mass index, which is again the change in post to pre-lean body mass plus the change in fat mass. Women, it looks like protein pacing is the most telling factor alone without exercise to favorably increase lean body mass index. The men is protein pacing with and without exercise. Future research will tease apart men and women and fitness level on cardiometabolic markers.
Male and female soccer players. So what we look at, we want to compare workload for the biomarkers and changes in the biomarkers throughout the competitive season. We have 26 female athletes, 24 male athletes. Training load was monitored with the Polar Pro system, and we did blood biomarkers every 4 weeks. What we see, we had highest caloric expenditure and total distance covered in the preseason. Our female athletes had higher cortisol than our male athletes throughout the season, higher creatine kinase in our male athletes compared to our female athletes. For our iron, we had a significant decrease in our female athletes after the preseason, with lower ferritin stores throughout the season, a significant decrease in growth hormone after the preseason, and those sexes kind of tailed off with vitamin D throughout the season. So, conclusions, what we see, males and females have similar caloric expenditure throughout the season, and females cover a greater distance. Preseason demonstrate overall physical strain and stress placed on these players.
So we actually, you can read, right? All right, so we looked at male and female soccer players. We actually did use high level. They were Division I athletes as well as professional soccer players. We had males and females. In terms of supplementation, as a placebo, 275 mg of teocrine, 275 milligrams of caffeine, or a mixture of caffeine and teocrine. We did a simulated soccer match on the treadmill. Props to Alan, who just went for figuring this out based on our GPS data. And what we did is cognitive testing at halftime as well as into the game. And then we did a run to exhaustion to simulate added time at 85% of VO2 max. The cognitive tests were simple reaction time, choice reaction time where we go no-go stimulus, or complex reaction time that also caused, they had to solve math problems while doing it. So what we see in terms of run time to exhaustion, there was as much as a 27 to 38% improvement in run to exhaustion compared to placebo across the conditions. And on top of that, in terms of simple reaction time, we actually saw an improvement in placebo across the conditions, but at the midpoint, still better. There you go.
Novel processed whey protein isolate. This novel processing changed the conformation of the protein and increased the surface area of the protein. What we did was we had resistance-trained males take one or the other of these proteins. The novel protein, they only got 20 grams after each workout for 8 weeks. The normal whey protein isolate supplement, they got 27 grams after each workout for 8 weeks. So a 26% difference in protein intake in the post-workout period. What we found at the end of the 8 weeks was both groups significantly increased dry lean body mass. Both groups also significantly increased maximal muscular strength. There was no difference when the subjects that took the lower protein, the novel protein, 26% less after every workout.
We performed an 8-week pilot study on 2 Ayurvedic botanicals called Sensoril, which is an ashwagandha extract, and Prima B, which is a type of shilajit found in the Himalayan mountains. We studied both of these ingredients during an 8-week training study in men and women, and we gathered a bunch of different dependent variables, biomarkers of connective tissue metabolism, recovery, and various endocrine status hormone markers and performance. And what we found, part of what we found were improvements in max bench power and improvements in 7.5 K time trial. So the cool thing about pilot studies is that they allow you to power up full-blown, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trials, and that's what we're doing next. Our hypothesis is that Sensoril seems to be effective for strength power athletes, while Prima B might be the supplement of choice for endurance and cross-training athletes.
Yeah, right. So my project, along with Allison, standing in the back, was looking at the body composition effects of extra protein in elite mixed martial artists undergoing frequent training over a 6-week period. We took 12 elite athletes, 11 started, 11 finished. We engaged in multiple training sessions per day and per week, with only 1 day of rest per week. The training includes plyometric, explosive, repetitive, technical, sparring, and so forth. The goal was to see if there would be a difference in body composition when you compare rice protein to whey protein on top of a standard diet. Supplementation included 75 grams of extra protein per day, again, whey versus rice. All of the products we had screened and tested by the banned substance control group to make sure that there was no banned substances. And what we found was at baseline, you see what you see up here, and there was not difference between the groups. And at the end of the study, we found that by giving about 0.41 grams per pound of body weight on top of a normal diet, that there was no difference in effect on gains and changes in lean body mass over a 6-week period.
And from what I understand, my strength coach was pretty awesome, but was working with those guys as well. So anyway, body composition, bone mineral density, strength, and professional combat athletes. Y'all kind of let us into it. What are these guys doing on a daily basis? They're beating each other up. BJJ, wrestling, all those things. Just beating the body down. Doing kind of a observational thing. We weren't even looking for this. We were
doing demographics. We come across this bone mineral density of 1.72 plus or minus 0.1. They're about 300% higher than all the other athletic populations. We tested about 100 athletes. So what's the long story, or what's the summary? These guys aren't as fat as you. These guys are more muscular than you. They're stronger than you, better endurance, and they also have thicker bones.
Alright, so the bros of welfare appreciation, you gotta feel the muscle to make it grow. A couple of years ago, I collaborated with my buddy, the blue guy, and we had a hypothetical rationale for why that might be the case. But there was really no long-term studies until recently. There was actually, until now, there was only, this is the first study to actually look at this on a longitudinal basis. So what we did, we took two groups. We had 15 subjects do a mind-muscle connection where they felt the muscle with biceps and quads, felt the muscle as they were lifting. The other one just felt get the weight up, and external focus. We did pre-testing, post-testing, ultrasound, biceps, triceps. This is preliminary data from the halfway point. For the biceps, you can see almost double the growth in the mind-muscle connection. Quads, basically the same. We just finished data collection, and I can say these results actually held true. So,
As the case study continues to follow our one-year protein subjects and its effect on liver and kidney functions, I'm highlighting two of our subjects. Corin is a vegan bodybuilder that's him at his this year at the classic Arnold bodybuilding competitions. Corin protein intake. Okay, so he was 2.2 to 2.5 in the last 2 years. Then we have our protein king coming up. He is a transformation that's come in the last 3-4 years, from 440 to 220. His protein intake has been from 4 grams per kilogram to 7.1 grams per kilogram. Their liver and kidney functions have been normal in ranges in the last 3 years. Here in the port and kidney functions panel, normal, absolutely normal in the last 3 years. For more detailed look at the results, I will have a poster tomorrow in the presentation. Thank you. Keep giving your questions.
wanted to look at the effect of two different common meals, one being the cereal meal. It was actually 2 cups of Special K and 3 scrambled eggs. It was isonitrogenous. The first hypothesis was that the complete protein breakfast would result in greater anabolism than the other one. Then we had a secondary lunch meal that was primarily a beef meal, with secondary hypothesis being that the breakfast effect would last after lunch. Bottom line is that EAAs were different, even though they were isonitrogenous. Egg had higher EAAs, higher leucine. Also, protein synthesis did not flush out, mainly because I think, like I said, there was only 20 grams of protein and only about 9 grams of EAA, so that didn't flush out. But mostly, in whole body protein kinetics, the egg breakfast was significantly more anabolic. In other words, the net balance was greater due to a decrease in protein breakdown. And much like the rest of my work, the second hypothesis just didn't work.
Beta-alanine is a rate-limiting precursor to carnosine, a powerful intramuscular buffer found within the skeletal muscle. We examined the impact of beta-alanine supplementation on anaerobic exercise parameters and trained collegiate rugby athletes. We had 21 rugby athletes supplement for 6 weeks in randomized double-blind placebo-controlled fashion over a 6-week period using a dosage of 6.4 grams per day in a pre-post fashion across 6 weeks. All participants completed the DEXA. Upper and lower body maximal strength tests, an intermittent maximal sprinting test, as well as upper and lower body strength endurance protocols consisting of 5 sets of repetitions to continue to get 70% 1 RM. While we reported no significant improvements in any of the physical performance measures, we did see some non-significant changes for increases in 1 RM bench press, as well as changes in distance covered throughout the
So body composition testing can be very helpful, can help you assess the needs of your clients and assess the efficacy of your interventions. 4 compartments carbon model is very thorough, accounts for total body water. However, it takes a lot of time and money. We wanted to see how some more convenient methods agreed with the 4C model. Had 34 overweight obese individuals come in. What we found is BOD-POD agreed quite closely, DEXA a little bit less, and ultrasound had the lowest level of agreement. It's A-mode ultrasound that we use. We had 15 subjects come back in after losing at least 10 pounds to see how well we can track changes. Same pattern, BOD-POD did the best, followed by DEXA, followed by A-mode ultrasound. So you gotta choose your method carefully depending on who you're measuring, what you're measuring, why you're measuring them, and also make sure that you have good pre-test guidelines and consider error whenever you interpret your results. Thank you.
Okay, look at the acute supplementation of citrulline malate on upper body resistance exercise performance. Our design looked like this. We had participants come in, they ingested either a placebo or citrulline malate, given 8 grams 40 minutes prior to warming up, and our bench press protocol was 5 sets of no more than 15 repetitions, 75% of 1 RM, 2-minute rest intervals, and we took our measures around it, which included some questionnaires and a simple ultrasound thickness of the tricep to look at the muscle swelling response. Looking at repetitions performed, no difference in total reps performed, just a swap in set 3 and set 4. Mean power and peak power, again, no difference between trials. And the simple muscle swelling response of the tricep, we also saw no difference between the muscle thickness of the tricep. So, in conclusion, under this situation, with this dosage and timing, we found a whole lot of nothing.
Word rage, myth or reality? A controversy exists between the relationship between anabolic steroid use and anger. We surveyed 1,955 male steroid users, of which 20.9% reported an anger problem prior to steroid use. 4 measurements were analyzed before, during, and after steroid use: anger intensity, anger control, anger frequency, and anger duration. As you can see from the graphs, there were no drastic changes between before steroid use, during steroid use, or after steroid use in any of the 4 measurements. Steroid users with anger issues prior to ever using steroids show increases in anger intensity and frequency while using steroids compared to not using them or before using them. Steroid users exhibit better anger control and shorter anger duration while using steroids compared to not using them or before using them. When users stopped using anabolic steroids, all 4 measurements of anger improved to less than their pre-anabolic steroid use levels.
Here's 6 different stances. There's narrow, abducted, wide with a mini band around the knees, frog and max contraction. As you can see on the right, for the upper gluteus maximus, I'm going to list the top 3. It went mini band around the knees for upper glutes was first. Then max contraction, that's just squeezing the glutes as hard as you can, which Brad just talked about, the mind-muscle connection. Followed by frog. For the lower gluteus maximus, it went max contraction, frog, and mini band. Now there's another study with heavier hip thrust loads, and see that slope there on the right? That's not very impressive. So as you go heavier with hip thrust, it doesn't activate the glutes that much more. Conclusions: squeeze the glutes while you train. Use mini bands with a wide stance for upper glutes. Use frog stance for lower glutes. Avoid the narrow stance and stick with lighter loads for high rest with hip thrust.
Do our genes determine how we respond to caffeine? I have previously shown that endurance athletes are fast metabolizers of caffeine are faster under endurance conditions. Now, more recently, I'm looking at hand grip strength to see what the response is genetically to caffeine with regard to strength. I found that nobody benefits from caffeine with hand grip strength as a surrogate measure of overall body strength. When I stratify by genotype, I see the fast metabolizers of caffeine have no benefit from caffeine. The slow metabolizers have a decreased benefit of 2 milligrams. It's about the same placebo versus 4 milligrams. And finally, we see a significant weakness in those that take any level of caffeine compared to placebo in our ultra-slow metabolizers of caffeine. Not everyone benefits from caffeine. It depends on your genetics. Caffeine doesn't make anyone stronger, and it makes ultra-slow metabolizers weaker. So should you caffeinate your handshake?
A study investigated the relationship between physical fitness, self-concept, and sexual functioning.
Basically, we study body composition, muscular strength, muscular endurance, and cardiovascular endurance, as well as various components of sexual functioning as separate scores and as one aggregate score. Men obviously reported higher sexual functioning scores in every category except for drive and desire. The sexual behavior and experience of both men and women was inversely related to body fat percentage, and cardiovascular endurance was related to arousal in women but not men. Past accomplishment was inversely related to everything sexual, basically. And likability was the greatest predictor of sexual behavior and experience over any type of physical fitness in men. He's very likable. The most notably, both hand grip strength and power cell concept were positively related to the number of sexual partners in women. However, there was not any relationship between various aspects of physical fitness and the number of sexual partners in men.
And I want to give all the data blitzes a hand. It's hard to get our data out of the system.